Hello, I'm so glad you made it. Well, I'm really happy that you decided to get some tutoring help for your upcoming vocab test. I think that was really smart of you, really proactive to want to feel like you're a little bit more ready, especially if you're not too sure about the words. Yeah, I don't mind at all. It's always a pleasure for me to help any students that want just a little extra practice. So, are there any words in particular that you were having trouble with, or did you want me to do all 5 of the weekly words? I think just going through each one, that'll probably be enough. Even that extra bit of studying should help it all stick in your mind. And then get a good night's sleep tonight, drink a lot of water, have a nice healthy breakfast. And by the time you come back to school, you'll be ready to ace that test. Alright, so these are your lists. It's the vacillate. Yeah, okay. So the first word was vacillate. Vacillate, and that's spelled V-A-C-I-L-L-A-T-E. Vacillate. Vacillate. V-A-C-I-L-L-A-T-E. So do you know if vacillate, what part of speech is it? A verb. A verb. To vacillate. Verb. Now, to vacillate means to waver in mind or opinion. To be indecisive. To be indecisive. Were you having trouble remembering this one? I feel like vacillate sort of reminds me of the word fluctuate, and to go back and forth, to waver. Vacillate. I love thinking of little like word tricks or anything to help with the memory. Vacillate is a verb, to waver. Waver in mind or opinion, to be indecisive. Now, this does have another form, and that is a noun, and that's the vacillator. Vacillator. Basically the worst superhero in history. Just a little joke. Okay. Vacillator. V-A-C-I-L-L-A-T-O-R. So if you're asked for another form of the word, vacillator, it's spelled the same. Drop the E, add the O-R. Vacillator. Vacillator. Now, the other things you're going to need to know for the test are a few synonyms, antonyms, and use it in a sentence. That is definitely okay. You will definitely be fine. So can you give me some synonyms for vacillate? To fluctuate, like we said. Fluctuate. One I really like is to dither. To dither. Waffle. That's a fun one. Seesaw, etc. And then, antonyms could be pretty interesting for this one. So it's going to have to be a verb. So maybe something like remain, stay, commit. Commit would probably be a really good one. And then to use it in a sentence. That's good. That's good. His tendency to vacillate made him a very poor leader, because you'd want a leader that is decisive and strong. So a poor leader might be one that vacillates a lot, can't decide on what to do. Very good. Do you feel like you have that one down? Do you want a few more minutes? Okay. You can always go back and review any of these words. So the next word is sojourn, and it can also be pronounced sojourn. Both are correct. Whatever one helps you spell it properly. S-O-J-O-U-R-N. Sojourn. Sojourn. Like the word journey. Sojourn. That is a little bit of a clue. Sojourn is a noun. It's actually a noun, and it can be a verb as well. So what it means is, as a noun, it means a temporary stay. A temporary stay. So the word journey is not a bad way to remember sojourn, because you are going somewhere that you're not from. So is a short, tiny word. So it's like a tiny journey, a short temporary stay, sojourn. And then if you were going to use it as a verb, you would say like, he will sojourn in the mountains. So if you heard that, you would know that he's not staying very long in the mountains, just a very temporary visit. Okay. So for other forms, again, the verb is the same, sojourn. Let's go ahead and write some synonyms and antonyms. Are you having problems with the antonyms? Well, I think you could do things like go, or you could do a word like stay. So, because it's a temporary stay, to leave, to go, could be an antonym because they're not staying. Or to stay, to remain, would imply a long period of time. So that could also be an antonym. I can see why you're having trouble with that. You can pick either one. Remain might be your best bet if you're having trouble thinking of them. Yeah. So can you use that in a sentence? During my sojourn to Japan, I learned more than I would in a year of school. Perfect. Brilliant. Brilliant. You might want to use in my sojourn in Japan. But let me know if you have any questions about that, and I can actually confirm that and look it up for you. Okay, that was really good. Our next word is jejune. This is a good word because it's fun to say. Jejune, jejune, jejune. And jejune is what part of speech? An adjective. Very good. Jejune is an adjective, and what it means is actually kind of the opposite of what you would think. It means dull, childish, immature, insipid, uninformed. It's actually got quite a negative connotation considering how much of a fun word it sounds like. Jejune, dull, childish, immature. So it actually has a few different contexts it could be used in. So you see like the dull context. So like a jejune speech, you have to figure out what they mean by jejune. Either the speaker was very boring, the speaker was very childish, or even uninformed. So again, like this one is difficult because there are some different definitions, I would say, to the word. The other forms that we have here are the adverb jejunely, just add le at the end there. Jejuneness, add ness, and then the other noun there is jejunity. Probably won't see the nouns too often, but just in case, jejuneness, jejunity, jejunely, jejune. So you have a wide variety of synonyms and antonyms you could use. The definition itself is full of synonyms, so let's think of some antonyms. Interesting, mature, very good, exciting, perfect. I think this one will be really easy for you. This is a good word, not literally good. So can you give me something that you can, how would you think you could use jejune in a sentence? Your jejune behavior won't gain you any responsibilities. It's a good one. And in that context, I feel like you would mostly mean childish or immature. Because when somebody needs to gain responsibilities, they should act mature. And yes, exactly. Perfect. Okay. So another antonym could be sophisticated or developed. Perfect. I think you got that one. Because there are so many definitions, you'll actually have a better time trying to remember one. And you don't have to put down all the definitions. As long as you get some correct definition or synonym, you'll be fine. Yeah. The next one, another J word. Jocular. 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 Jocular is another adjective. It's an adjective. And do you know what jocular means? It means intended for joking or jesting. So something that's not supposed to be serious, something that's supposed to be a joke, and the other form that's actually pretty common would be jocularly. So it's a good addition to modify the word said. So you could say something jocularly. And so that means that you're not being serious, you're intending for it to be a joke. Yeah. So that makes your sentence really easy. So you could say, "That's all you're good for," he said in a jocular manner. Or he said jocularly. Yeah, because he's not being serious. Good. So So the perfect antonym would then be serious. You could also use words like depressed or gloomy, but serious is probably your best antonym. I wouldn't have wanted you to stress about this test because when you do take the time just to sit down and look over the words, it's not so difficult. You're doing a really good job. Yeah, I appreciate your focus for sure. All right, the last word is adamantine. It can also be pronounced adamantine. Both are fine. Adamantine is an adjective. Do you know what adamantine means? This one's kind of a particular definition, so I'll write it out for you. This is utterly unyielding, or firm in attitude or opinion. What do you think? Does that make sense? So if someone's adamantine, well, they're pretty adamant about something. You know the word adamant? So, although many people argued with her, her opinion on the show was adamantine, unable to be moved, unyielding. Her opinion or attitude about that show was never going to change, no matter how many people argued with her online. That's the perfect definition. So, the other definition that you can use that actually might help you remember the first definition is too hard to cut, break, or pierce. Too hard to cut, break, or pierce. Adamantine armor. Wow, okay, that's perfect. If you can remember it that way, that's perfect. I don't think there's any other form of the word that you're going to need to know for the test. So, can you give me some antonyms for this? Well, if it's too hard to cut, maybe an antonym would be soft. That's an easy one. Squishy, breakable. You could also do antonyms like broken, pierced, already, cut up, like that sort of thing. Broken would be a good one. And then in terms of utterly unyielding or firm in attitude or opinion, you could go back to our vacillating word. To vacillate. That's the opposite of to be adamantine. So you could use definition words from that as your antonym. So like waffling. Exactly. Undecided. Perfect. Adamantine. 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 Yep, just make sure that you know that this is an A. For some reason, people spell it with an E a lot. It's all A's. Adamantine. Well, the I and the E. Did you have any other questions about the vocab? I do think you're going to be just fine. this week's words aren't as bad as last one's. Did you have a tough time on the last week's test? Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll ace this one. Come back to tutoring anytime. I'll go over the words as much as you'd like. That's what I'm here for. Alright. Again, get a good night's sleep. Breakfast. That's right. Alright. Good luck. See you in class tomorrow.